having a bowl of rice pasta with some tomato sauce, and this is actually textured soy protein, but in big chunks, so it kind of looks like chicken, and watching Vampire Diaries. No spoilers, please.
Alright, and we're sitting. A good conversation is always best when we're sitting. So I wanted to take a little time to update you guys on my physique goals, my fitness goals. As of current, I spent the majority of August kind of resetting my body, debloating, kind of like getting my eating schedule back on track, getting my food choices back on track. As I've told you in the previous videos, I started intermittent fasting for a whole month. I was resetting my system, making sure that I was eating my food at the same time every single day, and ended my feast the same time every single day. My body was loving it. My sleep quality just went way up. I wasn't bloating anymore. And for me, like, if I wanted to have a big fitness goal, it's always nice to have done like a little bit of a mini reset before I partake in those goals, because I always feel like I'm at a good starting point, my head's in a good space, and that's on a physical side of things. On a mental side of things, a reset really helps me work with maybe some unresolved feelings that I have about myself, maybe any insecurities that I've developed or I've come back to or I haven't gotten rid of. Like, I got that month to deal with it, to really speak to myself and say, hey, like, what are some of the issues at hand? Because for me, through experience, and if you've watched my previous video where I talk about my history with binge eating disorders and other eating disorders, you would know that like it's a struggle every time you partake on a physical goal. You want to change the way your body looks. You want to the whole sport of like bodybuilding, of the whole idea of being in like a fitness lifestyle. You are constantly looking at your body, you're constantly trying to change your body, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with trying to be healthier, stronger, to shape your body a little differently. Like, there's nothing, I don't have anything against that, but I think that it's really important, if you want to go into that, you go in with a healthy mindset and you come from a place of like truly wanting those things, but not from a place where you don't like yourself, where you hate how you look, you hate how you are. It's more about being absolutely okay with how you are, but wanting to take that challenge to get stronger or to do better. It's not from bad to good, it's from good to better. And there should never be any self-hate or self-loathing or self-punishment involved in the process of going from good to better. If you're going from a process of like bad to good, if that's your mindset, then of course you're gonna allow such things as self-hate, self-punishment, because somehow it fuels you to go from point A to point B. But if you're clear with yourself that you're trying to get from where you're already great to something a little greater, or just taking a different challenge, like there does not need to be any negativity there. So this nice like month's time that I had in August was really helpful for me to identify some of the mental hurdles that I had, as well as the physical. And knowing me, knowing my brand, knowing my channel, if you followed me, you would see how much emphasis I put on mental health. All the years of experience has taught me how interconnected physical and mental is, and how much more dominant the mental side of things is. And if you don't train your mind, you don't constantly train your mind, because it's also a muscle, and it's such a vital muscle. If you're not day in, day out training your mind, and you're busy doing all the physical, and you're leaving this huge chunk behind, sometimes it's not as easy to have everything catch up. And when your mind gets the best of you, you can be in the best physical shape, but you won't feel good, and you'll still resort to some very, very negative ways to battle moments of being overwhelmed or being shocked and not knowing where your head's at. Okay, anyway, moving on to my September goals, and my more long-term goal, kind of like September towards the end of the year kind of thing, is I've made my decision to start bulking. Like, it's been about like a week or two that I've already been thinking about potentially bulking through September all the way till December. A nice solid 12-week 3-month bulk. And I was wishy-washy about it. I was like, okay, I wanna look inside and see if I'm ready to do this on a mental level. On a physical level, hell yes, I am ready. I love lifting. I love really, really pushing for that muscle growth. And I don't have a problem with eating the amounts of food required for the muscle to grow, because as we all know, you need caloric surplus in order to gain muscle. But the biggest thing for me, like I said, is the mental part of it. Like, am I mentally ready to, you know, get into this bulk, knowing that if I do it the right way, I'm going to, yes, put on a bunch of muscle, but also gain a little bit of fat, because that comes with the territory. Like, if you're really careful, if you're really good, if you're really knowledgeable, and you work with lean bulk, which means you're careful of the type of food you consume. You're not just doing dirty bulk where you just eat every pile of junk there is just for the sake of #gains, but you're doing it mindfully. Like, you can put on maximum amount of muscle while actually putting on minimal amounts of fat. So I think, like, it's about exploring in here for me, that do I trust myself to put myself through that process. And, like, if I'm having those bad days where I see a little bit of fat gain, which it will happen, you know, it's inevitable with the bulk. That's the catch-22 of a cut versus bulk or whatever. And I was like observing that for a few days, writing in my journal, seeing how I feel about certain things, and making sure that I trust myself. And I'm so relieved to find myself completely trusting of me. And that is a good sign. That means that I'm in a good place in my life. That means I am, you know, on the more optimal side of things in terms of self-love, in terms of that journey, because it is a struggle every day, you know. So that's good. You know, I was gauging, and I'm like, you know, I'm in a good place. I'm mentally ready to do this. Because, like, if you're gaining fat here and there and you're not mentally okay with it, it destroys you, and it distorts a lot of the things that you see in the mirror. You're like, what could potentially be maybe like a little inch of fat gain can appear like 3 to you, and it can feel like your life is over, and then it drives you into insanity and like psychological damage, and then you start behaving in ways against yourself. And for me, no matter what my physical goals are, my mental like stake that I put into like my rule book, like this is this is what my moral compass says, is that when I in my control do whatever I can to not make moves against myself, no matter what. And that is holy, like that is sacred for me. Moving on to the details of my bulk, I am intentionally trying to grow my butte. I want my glutes to be a little bigger, a little rounder. I've been in a place in the past, maybe a couple years back when I was in my prime with bodybuilding, and a little bit after that, where my glutes were kind of like shaped the way I want them to. So I've been there, and I've remembered really liking my glutes that way. And over the past few years, I've dealt with a few injuries in my hip, and my hamstrings, and like a bunch of stuff where I wasn't able to do like size gain type strength training. I was sticking to more endurance and recovery based programs. I was doing a lot of cycling, yoga, bar, whatever I could do to maintain like strength and maintain my muscles, endurance, and not worry about things like size and aesthetics and stuff like that, because that's what I needed to do for recovery. I took about 2-3 years to like, you know, strictly focus on recovery, and it's good. Like I'm not unhappy about the shape that I have now, because it's strong. You can see my muscles. I'm at a very healthy body fat percentage. I feel good in my clothes. I feel good without my clothes. It's all good, you know, but like I wouldn't mind putting that nice shape on my butt. So that's the kind of priority for this bulk that's happening September through December. And that's the thing that I find most women either don't know or know and don't want to accept, is that like to grow a booty you must eat. You must really eat, because if you don't fuel the muscle to grow, it will not grow. It's as simple as that. Which brings me to another thing that I could say struggle with, but I don't think it's a struggle. I think it's completely normal. I have in the past written workout programs for people. I've created workout plans, training plans. I'm a certified personal trainer, and I have made countless workout programs. However, I struggle the most to make any workout program for myself. I think it's more psychological than anything. I find it so freaking difficult to motivate myself as my own coach. I can motivate myself to like go to the gym to get things done easy, but I prefer having someone else keep me accountable, tell me what to train, like how to structure my training. And in this case, going through a bulk, I want someone to lead me through a bulk, because I feel one, more motivated, and I feel like two, I'm committed to being the one doing the work, not the one also writing the plans and stuff like that. And I'm already my own boss in so many ways, and like in this particular field, I like to be told what to do. And it's just one of those things where like even coaches need coaches, and I strongly relate to the idea that I can't coach myself, and I don't want to. And there's a level of like impartialness that a coach can bring to you, and I think like a relationship between like a mentor and someone under them, or like a student and a coach, client and a coach, I think that's really important to have. Me as a coach, like I love being that for somebody, and I in reverse love being coached by someone that I find is quality, that that is in sync with my mission, and that we're operating on the same wavelengths, if you may. It's humbling, and it really stops my ego from running some of my decisions, and like that to me is important. So I have proceeded to hire a coach to help me with my bulk. He's this really cool guy called Conscious Muscle. You can find him on YouTube. I can link his channel below. But he's going to help me through this bulk. I'm officially starting tomorrow. I've already kind of like pre-started the bulk on my own a little bit, but like I said, I need a coach to kind of feel like I'm truly in this. So that's what's happening. That's the update on my physical goals. I hope you guys get a kick out of that. If you have any questions concerning my bulk, or if I plan to cut in the future, which I do, any of that, shoot in the comments or shoot in my DMs on my Instagram. Anything you need to know, anything you want to know, I'm happy to answer you. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this content. If you like it, don't forget to comment, like, subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video.